Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I feel like whenever I wear this sweater, like, y'all should know that it's gonna be a chill video. Today I wanted to come on and just have a chill video and talk to you guys about the mistakes that I made during my natural hair journey, because I know a lot of times, like, you guys see folks on camera and you feel like, oh, your hair's perfect, nothing's ever wrong with your hair. Like, you haven't seen the progression. A lot of us weren't really able to start our channels when we were going through our, like, the throes of our journeys. So I wanted to have a discussion with you guys today. I know you guys are going to comment on my makeup, and I will leave a full list of everything that's on my face in the description box below. I did use the Aina palette, and I told you guys that I was going to film a tutorial or like a video with that, and I did. So that video is going to be up Saturday. Y'all, the devil works hard, but your girl works harder, okay? And Z is with us. Baby girl. Z, come say hi. I know you guys like never see her anymore. You just see Ellie. But she's in here. She's been very clingy. I love you too, sweetheart. So I let her come in the room and she's hanging out. I'm not gonna say anything as to how things are going with her and Ellie because I don't want to jinx nothing. But anyway, if you are interested in hearing all the mistakes that I made during my natural hair journey, then just keep watching. Now, the first big mistake that I made when I went natural. Some of y'all probably gonna feel some type of way about this, but exclusively co-washing almost destroyed my hair. Like, almost destroyed my hair. I was in my sophomore year of college, and I was trying to find ways to help keep moisture into my hair. You guys know that I have a normal porosity. That means that my hair takes in moisture at a normal rate and it loses moisture at a normal rate. So sometimes, I'd say like normal to high porosity, we kind of struggle with retaining moisture over longer periods of time. And around that time, I was wash and going once a week. So I was only doing one wash and go. I was making that last throughout the entire week. And I was trying to find ways to help retain moisture. And everyone said, co-wash, co-wash, co-wash. Now, my stylist told me, she warned me about this whole exclusively co-washing thing. And I told you guys in my high girl fatigue video, with my normal porosity, it takes a long time for my hair to dry. Exclusively co-washing increased the amount of time that it took for my hair to dry, and it just essentially made my hair drier, because even though the co-washes that I used did have light surfactants in it, it wasn't getting everything off of my hair. I didn't really have an understanding of silicones and how they played in the hair at the time. I didn't have an understanding of what would get a silicone out of my hair. So I was using just kind of anything and exclusively co-washing. And that just wasn't working for me. And truthfully, y'all, even when I am using completely natural products, there are a lot of natural ingredients in hair care, even things that a lot of you guys use, that cause extreme buildup on my hair. And so it's just something about certain ingredients, my hair does not like it. Or it likes it, but I have to shampoo it out. I can't just leave it in my hair. So I went through some serious issues with that. It just, as time went on, my hair just kept getting drier and drier and drier. And it was really frustrating. Thankfully, I stopped doing it before I experienced any breakage. I think at the time, I was cycling between the As I Am Coconut Co-Wash, the Diva Curl No Poo, and the Shea Moisture Coconut and Hibiscus Co-Wash. So all of those are amazing co-washes. Obviously, I still use the coconut co-wash in my routine today, but I use it completely differently. And when I started shampooing my hair again, y'all, I had moisture, I had softness, my definition was back. And my scalp, oh my God, don't even get me started on my scalp, y'all. Like, I feel like we pay so much attention to what our hair is doing that we forget our scalp, and it's very easy to neglect your scalp. Your scalp is the root of everything. If you ain't taking care of your scalp, baby, baby. So yeah, exclusively co-washing really messed up my hair, even when I was only co-washing once a week and not doing it like every single day. It's just not something that works for me. And as Sheree would say, me and my household. So that's the first thing that really like messed with my hair. The second thing, the second big mistake that I made in my natural hair journey, trying to stretch my wash and goes out for 1 week. Now, first of all, when I started going natural, that was when I was really in the throes of like my research job, and that wasn't like a feasible thing for me to be doing anyway, because I would be outside in like 100+ degree heat. I'm sweating, I'm surrounded by plants and bugs and all sorts of stuff. And not only that, but like there's no like tree cover, so the sun was bearing down on my hair. That just, it didn't make sense for me to be trying to stretch my wash and goes for a week anyway. Like looking back on that, that's just nasty. But I watched a lot of people, and I still see this on so many forums, to like help with length retention. If you want to see your hair grow, do one style and make it last for that entire week. And I started to realize, especially as my hair got longer, like when my hair was in a TWA, I was able to at times pull off like a week-long wash and go. But first of all, everybody's hair loses moisture at a different rate. And so this whole idea that you need to try to make a style last for an entire week is complete nonsense, because not everybody loses moisture at the same rate. Some of us have to moisturize our hair more than others. That's just life. We're all different. We all have different DNA. But I also found that in trying to make my wash and goes last for a week, I was manipulating it more than I do now, where I wash and go twice a week. Simply because I'm stretching it, I'm pulling on it, I'm doing like different methods, trying to like refresh and do all this extra stuff. I was trying people's refreshing routines. And it's not that I don't refresh my hair, but now I only refresh when I absolutely have to. I cannot restyle my hair at this very moment. That's the only time I refresh. But I was experiencing a lot of mechanical damage because I was trying to force myself to make my hairstyles last further than they could. It wasn't that the products weren't good. It wasn't that the products weren't moisturizing, but my hair loses moisture a little bit quicker than everybody else's. And the bottom line is, the only way to replenish that moisture completely is water. And so now I start, for the most part, kind of fresh in the middle of the week. So now, in seeing the issues with what I was doing before, I'm co-washing midweek. I'm not, you know, exclusively co-washing, but that co-washing midweek allows me to reopen that cuticle, get that water back in my hair, and reset until the end of the week when I shampoo. And that works a whole lot better for me. And I also end up touching my hair less than I was back then when I was trying to stretch my hair for a week, if that makes sense. So the third thing that, was a big mistake. I feel like everybody does this when they start going natural because they're excited about products, and when you're watching videos, you see a lot of people just slapping a bunch of crap in their hair. And that's what I was doing. I was just slapping a bunch of crap in my hair. And it took a minute for me to be able to step back and really start like isolating products. But one of the biggest things that I found, like I could never understand why I could not get a good wash and go for the longest time. And a big part of the reason why I could not have a successful wash and go was because I was just mixing everything with everything. And I've talked about this multiple times, like on my channel. It's one of my biggest pet peeves to see somebody like reviewing products and just slapping like 50 different things in their head, just expecting them all to mix, and then giving the product a bad review because they either had to use too much, it started balling up, it flaked, or whatever. And now the flake test isn't always foolproof, okay? You can put two products in your hands, watch them, you know, mix together, and they're fine, and you put it in your hair and it dries, and maybe your hair just doesn't absorb the products. That is always a reason for flaking. But for me, for the longest time, I had really, really bad, awful, disgusting, goopy wash and goes because I would just mix products that sounded good, but I never actually tested to see if they mixed together. And even when I did like half my head and saw it wasn't working, I mean, sometimes I just had to go out the door, but I would just like keep going, just thinking that it would work out, and it usually didn't. So that was one thing that I look back on it, and there are so many things that I like want to retry. Simply because I know back then I used them so wrong, and I mixed them with things that like I look and I'm like, why did I even think that was a good idea to put that with that? You know, like sometimes you look back on your journey and you're just like, that was not smart. And a lot of the things that I put together, like it was not a smart idea. It was not a good idea, but that's all a part of learning. Like you have to make mistakes to learn, you know? And so now I understand that not everything mixes with everything else. And it's not the job of a brand to make products that mix with somebody else's brand. I see that happen a lot too. People are like, well, if it don't go with my wet line, then it ain't good. And I'm just like, but it's not that company's job to make a product that works with wet line. Like, it's their job to make products that work with their products. But I digress. But that is one thing that I like highly suggest to you guys. Most of you that watch me are already like well along in your natural hair journeys, but there are a lot of you guys that watch me as well that are still learning, are still trying to like figure it out. And that's one of the biggest things that I can suggest is being mindful about what you're mixing in your hair. Not everything is meant to pair together. Some things don't need something else with it. Some things really are truly one and dones. So be aware of that when you're applying your products. Try mixing them in your hands, and also be aware of your porosity, because sometimes certain things aren't going to absorb into your hair as easily as they will into my hair because I have a normal porosity, and that really does affect the way a lot of things set into my hair. The fourth thing, one of the big mistakes that I made was striving for somebody else's hair goals. We all do this. Like, every single one of us do this. I genuinely thought that a lot of the people that I watched, like, my hair was going to look like theirs, my hair was going to play like theirs. I had a lot of the, I can't wait until my hair is as long as XYZs. And that is, honestly, it's kind of a defeatist attitude because, as I've said previously, we don't have the same DNA, and everyone's hair does different things. It will, you know, grow and flourish at different times. We all have different setbacks. No one 3C is the same as another 3C, the same way no one 4B is the same as another person's 4B. We put a lot of labels on things, but no one's hair is truly the same. We can use each other as a guide, but we also have to go in thinking my hair is still my hair. And even though this person is a model for what my hair may look like, or may have the propensity to turn out similar to, doesn't mean that your hair is going to be just like theirs. A lot of people tell me my hair is exactly like yours, and I'm like, but it's not. And there are going to be things that I love that y'all are going to flat out hate. That's hair. There so much plays a role into that, not just curl pattern, not just porosity, not just density, not just texture, but where you live. If you live in Arizona, I live in North Carolina. very different climates. The humidity out here, Arizona has a drier climate. So if you're watching me from a place that has a much drier climate, the things that I love and enjoy may be terrible for your hair. But you can also use me as a guide to know what not to buy, because if I love it, there's a good chance that because of the climate that you live in, probably ain't gonna work. I do that all the time with a lot of people. But in a lot of ways, I really set myself up for failure and disappointment because I was so convinced that my hair was going to look like somebody else's, and I just didn't have that understanding at the time that that's not how curly hair works. Just because you see another black girl with curls does not mean that your hair is going to curl like hers. Doesn't mean your hair is going to grow like hers, but it definitely doesn't mean that it's going to hang like hers. I mean, there are so many naturals out here that have long curly hair, and they are like at tailbone length. And before I cut my hair, I was at tailbone length, but my hair was not stretching down my back like a glam twin. Like it just wasn't, you know? All curls curl differently, not just depending on your curl pattern, but how you have your haircut. Like y'all have seen, like I still have a lot of hair, but my haircut really influenced the way that my hair curls up. Like, and it has even grown since then. I'm still like mid boob here. But the way that my hair is cut has really enhanced my curls. You have to take your preferences into account too. A lot of us have very different preferences, and that influences how our journeys progress. So that was a big mistake that I made. But it also taught me to love myself even more and to really embrace my curls. Once you get past that hump of like really feeling like your hair has to look like somebody else's, oh my goodness, it's such a freeing feeling. Like it really is, just being fully and completely dedicated to you and yourself and your texture and loving what you have, like that. So I feel like in a way, envying someone else's hair and wanting your hair to be like somebody else's is sometimes like a necessary step to just further growing into loving yourself. I think we've all had that experience, whether it be with our hair, our skin, our bodies, etc. And that is just, it just further transforms us into people that love ourselves even more. Self-love doesn't all look the same. Like it's not a one-stop shop kind of thing. Like it's not this little space on a game board that you get to and self-love, yay, you know, like it doesn't look the same for everybody. The last big mistake that I have made throughout my natural hair journey, I'm still making it, not getting enough trims. I think we all do this, and truthfully for me, I know a lot of people do this because they just don't want to lose their length. And you know, me personally, I'm not really hung up on that. Like I know that I can grow my hair as much as I want to, as long as I take care of it, and keep it where it needs to be. And I think for someone who really neglected going to go get her hair trimmed, I've retained way more length than the average person. I would say my hair is quite resilient in that aspect because I was pretty much like, I had hit tailbone length before I had started losing that length. And then when I cut it, I was like a couple inches above tailbone length. So like a little bit below waist length. I think that's pretty decent retention considering that at the end I was getting some breakage just because I wasn't like getting my trims. But it really does aid in all of the things that we try to bring tips for in terms of like detangling and moisture retention, etc. Post-cut, my hair retains moisture so much better. I think that, and not just that, but I think with getting my ends clipped, it really does enhance the coils. I don't have as much of my hair touching my clothes, and I think that to a point, having long hair is a struggle because your hair touches your clothes and your clothes leach all of that oil and all of the moisture that you have worked so hard to put into your hair. So I think that was causing some issues too, especially in the back. I'm retaining way more moisture in the back. But in terms of detangling, like it just helps so much better. And when you can easily detangle your hair, like you're already skipping all of the mechanical damage, all the breakage that can come with that, you know, struggle detangling. And I tell y'all, like, those Maybelline products that I tried, they're still garbage. Don't get me wrong, they're still garbage. But I think I said this, I'm somewhat thankful for how bad they made my hair turn out, because that was the last straw. I was like, okay, I don't care what happens, I need to go get my hair cut. like at that point, it had messed my hair up so bad that I was like, I can't hold it off anymore. Like after I had washed it, even the day that I blew my hair out so my aunt could cut it, washing it was such a struggle. And I used my best products. Like, washing that Maybelline stuff out of my head caused so many issues for me, aside from what had already happened when I put it in my head. Like, it was really bad. But it was the absolute push. Like, after that video, I called my aunt and I was like, you don't work Saturdays, but is there a way that you can like cut my hair? Because it was that bad. So in a way, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because it forced me to do what I should have done a long time ago anyway. For the most part, not getting my hair trimmed was more so related to location. My aunt, I prefer her to cut my hair. I just love the way she cuts hair. And y'all have complimented me so much on this cut, so you see why I prefer her to cut my hair. And she did this on blown out hair outside on my grandma's porch. Like, she's that good at cutting hair. But a lot of my laziness with trimming my hair was solely based on where I was. I spent my entire college career in Raleigh, North Carolina. And so, like 2.5 hours away from my aunt, and 1.5 hours to 2 hours away from, actually a little bit more than that, from my stylist, who is in Kernersville. So she's like my local stylist. But it was still hard to get to her too. So a lot of that just had to do with location. I know that there are good natural hairstylists in Raleigh, but when it comes to getting my hair cut, like, I have a specific vision. I know what I want my hair to look like after it's cut, and my aunt does that. Even when it's a trim, like when I get my hair trimmed, I want it to maintain the layers, and I hate it when I get a trim and it's like, okay, but where my layers go? You know what I mean? Like, I want to allow my hair to continue to grow, but to continue to grow in this shape. I love this shape. And so I know my aunt can do that, but at the same time, with being picky with what I wanted, it was adversely affecting my hair. But I do wish that I had been more diligent when it came to actually going to go get my trims, going to go get my cuts. I think that I would have been happier in the long run with my hair. But yeah, so that is the 5 things that really just kind of were big mistakes during my natural hair journey. We all do it. We all do things, shit, in any journey, not just a natural hair journey, that we probably shouldn't do. They're not the best things that we should be doing. We should be making better decisions, and we know it. But sometimes we really don't know. And that is all a part of being on a journey. That is all a part of learning your hair. And if we didn't make those mistakes, we wouldn't be where we are now with our hair journey. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I talk a lot about my hair. You guys comment a lot about how well I know my hair. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I have really taken the time to address and acknowledge the mistakes that I have made in my natural hair journey, and correcting those things, and really paying attention to what my hair is liking, what my hair isn't, what I'm doing to it, like, why am I doing this in the first place, you know? I'm very analytical when it comes to stuff like this. So that's all a part of having a successful hair journey, is acknowledging the mistakes that you've made and correcting them. And when you're doing that, you're always doing the right thing. I don't care what anybody tells you, but when you're taking those experiences and learning from them and just trying to make better decisions as you go, that is doing the right thing. There is no such thing as having a perfect journey. There is no such thing as being the perfect natural, having perfect tips, etc. Do what you need to do for your hair, and your hair will thank you, and you will watch it flourish, and you will be happier in your mane. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope these tips help you. Let me know, what was your biggest mistake when you went natural? I'm really curious. I want to see, like, what else. Like, we're probably all doing the same stuff and we ain't even realize it, right? If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like. Of course, comment. You know, I love to talk to you guys, and I really do hope that you subscribe, join the fam, because I love all of y'all. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.